learning from the past, investing in the present, building for the future. That's what it takes to be a top 50 CEO. Good evening, I'm Dawn Chafe, and I am the other co-owner of Atlantic Business Magazine. Tonight, we celebrate Atlantic Canadian corporate leadership excellence. These are people who are cutting edge, have an edge, and they're living on the edge, walking a careful tightrope between success and failure, bordered by the vast North Atlantic. This region is often criticized for its lack of critical mass, of being too small, of being too far removed from the great centers of global commerce. But before you leave here this evening, you will know that these supposed weaknesses only make us stronger. You will know there's nothing small about our dreams and creativity. You will know you will be sick of the sound of my voice. Absolutely. And my husband thinks I didn't see him smiling over that one, but I did, I got that. But you will also know that this life, this home here on the edge of the Atlantic has prepared us to launch out into the world. We have what it takes to survive and thrive. And a prime example of that, ladies and gentlemen, are the recipients of this year's, I can't even say this year's because we've only given it out 3 times, our Atlantic Canada Industry Builder Award. This recognition is awarded to Atlantic Canadians who have made a measurable and historic impact on business growth in the region. As I mentioned, it's only been presented twice in Atlantic Business Magazine's 35 years of publishing, just twice. One was given to Casey Irving, the other one was given to John Risley. Tonight, we present it for a 3rd time to the founders of Verafin. Through their dedicated efforts, Verafin has developed the world's leading financial crime management platform. They have raised the largest venture capital deal in Canadian history, founded a regional innovation community, and grown a remarkable business that embodies corporate leadership excellence. But don't believe me, let's check it out.
So Jamie, Ray, and I were doing graduate research at the university, and we were approached by an alumnus who came with the idea of applying advanced technology to the problem of money laundering and fraud detection. So like any good startup story, we all dropped out of university and started Verafin. Our idea really is to be able to find a way to connect every financial institution together so that when we think about the problem of money laundering, fraud, and those underlying crimes, we can find that strength in institutions working together to be able to solve that problem as opposed to everybody trying to solve it individually.
Verafin's such a great place to work because of the energy in the space. You can walk from one end of the building to the other and give every single person a high five, and they will return that high five.
At Verafin, no 2 days are the same, and every day is unique and challenging. And while that may seem daunting at first, when you come in, we have such a great team. We have a singular focus, so it makes every day unique, challenging, but exciting and fun. There's room for growth, and growth is not only encouraged, you're helped every step of the way.
The Verafin culture is really unique. Everyone likes to collaborate a whole lot.
Well, we don't have titles in our culture. And so what that means is that everybody scrums around a problem regardless of your role, your position in the company. If there's a problem, we just solve it.
Our environment is like none I've ever seen.
Pick it up. Get the goods.
Having the open culture is really great. You don't feel like you're boxed in anywhere. It's just everyone's here. It's almost like you're hanging out.
It's a very open concept, and it really breaks down the barriers, the literal barriers in terms of walls that are between people at work usually, and it allows for a lot of collaboration, a lot of great teamwork to happen.
At Verafin, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but what we do take very seriously is our mission, vision, and values. Everyone who works at Verafin embodies our core values of teamwork, caring, and continuous improvement. And we're all dedicated and committed to our long-term vision of creating the world's largest global network to fight financial crime. And we come to work every day to fulfill our mission to reduce the impact of some really heavy crimes like human trafficking, terrorist financing, and drug trafficking.
It's so great to be part of a company that is for the greater good. When a team of people are presented with a problem and all of those creative, brilliant minds come together and solve that problem, it is inspirational and it makes going to work really, really fun.
Jamie King, Raymond Pretty, Brendan Brothers are the definition of future-focused leadership, and Atlantic Business Magazine is proud to recognize your efforts with the Atlantic Canada Industry Builder Award. Please welcome Brendan Brothers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So there's many things I enjoyed about that video. The first was it was clearly shot before COVID. There's another thing. There's a number of people that are featured in that video. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was kind of the network effect that we have here now within St. John's, and how people have gone on from Verafin and gone on to other businesses here within the city and more broadly, and try to take some of the things that we've learned over our past 20 years and go and help other companies with that. And there's a couple of people on that video that have done that. And even as you know, we've gone through our NASDAQ journey over the past 3 years, there's folks that are featured in that video now who are leaders in different areas at NASDAQ as well. And I think, you know, when Jamie and Ray and I think about what we've been able to build and the success that we've been able to have, that's one of the key things I think that makes us most proud of what we've been able to do. Is obviously we've been able to create a very fun place to work. We've been able to solve a very hard problem, but I think we've been able to contribute immensely to trying to create an ecosystem here in St. John's, in Newfoundland and Labrador, and Atlantic Canada, to be able to show an example, to be able to solve really hard problems like this. On behalf of Jamie and Ray, I'm the least shy of the three of us, so I was nominated to be able to come and speak tonight. But I do want to thank the magazine for this award, and certainly something that we're quite proud of. I did write notes so that I could try and stay on time as we go through here. Everybody knows the adage of it takes a village. And particularly here in St. John's and the ecosystem that we have, a success story like ours is not done by ourselves. We were able to take advantage of Memorial University, of the Genesis Center, of the strong leadership that was there, of an angel investment from David Kelly, from seed rounds of investment from Mark Dobbin, from Information Venture Partners, from Spectrum. All of these people along the way who helped us grow and helped us become the company that we are. But Siobhan mentioned it when we started, and we never, ever, ever miss an opportunity to thank Newfoundland and Labrador Credit Union. Thank you. As every entrepreneur in this room knows, your first customer is your most important customer, because they are the customer who takes a chance and says, you might have something. We probably can work with you. We probably can't give you very much money, but what we can do is we can give you credibility and we can give you input and feedback. And for us, that was absolutely invaluable. We traveled all over the world. We went to the Middle East. We went to the Caribbean. Jamie and I went to South America. In fact, we probably left a copy of our source code on a CD in Argentina, and there's a competitor of ours down there now that's using like version 1 of Verafin to try and compete with us. But it wasn't until we were introduced to the fine folks at Newfoundland and Labrador Credit Union, who were literally up the parkway from us at the Genesis Center, that we found our first partner, which was instrumental in helping us build out our product and build out our capabilities in the credit union space in Canada and then in the United States as well. And that first customer is the most important customer because it validates what you're trying to do, gives you real-world feedback, allows you to be able to figure out what problem you want to solve and how you're going to solve it. And for us, we would not be here if it wasn't for the partnership that we've had for the past 21 plus years with Newfoundland and Labrador Credit Union. I was looking back today in preparation and looking back at like the press releases and things that came out when NASDAQ acquired the company 3 years ago, and we made a big deal about the fact that we were 600 people then, and we're nearly 1,100 now. And I think that's a testament to the problem that we're trying to solve. Money laundering and fraud is a very, very hard problem. We might never be able to solve that problem completely, but we can help financial institutions day in, day out be able to solve that problem. And NASDAQ sees that as a very important problem, and part of the reason why they spent years trying to find a way to partner with us and eventually acquire us at the end of the day, because they see that as an important part of trying to solve, this problem of integrity within the financial system. If you think about the problems that we try to solve day in, day out, they're some of the most important problems in the world. Human trafficking, elder financial abuse, terrorist financing, drug trafficking. We spent some time in DC last week and we were meeting with the Department of Justice and we were talking about fentanyl. And some of these kinds of things that you see on the news day in, day out, but when you think about what the root of that problem is, the root of that problem is money. And that's where we find our purpose in terms of trying to root out these criminals and be able to protect the world from financial crime. So for us, as we think about our growth over the last 20 years and think about the growth that we have in the future of us, it's really about thinking about how do we find hard problems to solve, how do we find unique ways to be able to solve them, and how do we have fun while we're doing it as well. And you can see examples of that in the video as well. So with that, I think the last thing I'll say is I'm tremendously excited to see some of the other winners here on the list, both from Newfoundland and Labrador as well as from broader Atlantic Canada. And I think about the folks that have grown up within Verafin and gone on to other companies here and being able to help some of these other companies. You know, every time somebody leaves Verafin, we've come to this adage now that it's okay for us to be happy and sad at the same time. And it's okay for us to be happy and see people go and work with other strong companies that are represented here tonight, Colab, PolyUnity, Misa, all of these folks who are solving really hard problems, trying to figure out how to do really great things here within St. John's. And that for us is something that we're really quite proud of. And I think you'll see through the winners that are going to be announced later today, examples of that day in, day out. One last thing I always say whenever I go somewhere, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a book recommendation, because if we think about one of the things that's helped us grow as a business is we've always been very studious in terms of thinking about how to grow and things like that. One of the conversations that we're having right now at NASDAQ is all around process and trying to figure out, strategic planning and things like this. I always thought when we got acquired by, a big company like NASDAQ, they would have it all figured out. But at the end of the day, every company, I always say, is just a bunch of yahoos like us trying to figure it out as well. And if you don't know who Peter Lencioni is, he writes amazing books. They're basically business parables that talk about all the problems that we have day in, day out in terms of dysfunctions within teams, planning for meetings, strategic planning, all of these kinds of things. For us, they've been really strong Bibles as we've grown our business. And I encourage you, if you get a chance, to be able to pick up one of those. So again, thank you very much for the honor. As we said, we're in small but great company here today, but very excited to see the list of the top CEOs and the companies that are represented here today as well. And we thank you for this honor and thank you for your attention.